Alright guys, these VM22 carbs are driving me crazy. I've always had great luck with these on the go-karts, but we bought 4 of these Vaders, all at the same time, all brand new. We started with this one. We put a VM22 on it, we tuned it, we had the carb on and off numerous times, countless times, but we got the tune good, got it all set up, bike runs great. Took the tune from that carb on that bike that runs great and put the same exact tune on 3 other bikes. One of the other bikes runs great like that bike does. The other 2 run like garbage. So even though the tune was the same, we decided to tweak the tune to see if we can get it to run better. But it didn't matter what we did, the damn thing just runs like crap. I had this carb on and off of this bike, I don't know how many times, trying so many different combinations. I was on the forums looking to see what everyone else was doing. It just won't run good. It just no matter what I do, it just won't run good. So I took the carb off of this bike that runs good, put it on this bike, and it runs great. Took the carb off of here, put it on this bike, and it runs like garbage. So that tells me that not all VM22s are the same. There's something in the carb that has not been touched that is different between the 2 carbs. And I don't know what it is. When I did the swap, I left the slide, the needle, so that remained the same. So even though this bike wasn't running good with the carb the way I had it tuned, I know it's not in the needle. I was thinking maybe these carbs were supplied with different needles, and that's why this one over here was running better, because maybe it had a different needle in it, even though the jetting that I was using was the same. But after swapping the carb bodies, only the carb bodies, and not the needle in the slide, I know the difference is within the carb body somewhere. Something in here is different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 carbs. I know one works great on both bikes, one works like crap on both bikes, and I'm just going to dissect both the carbs and try to find out what the difference is. Alright, so here's our main jet, and this is from the carb that works. And what we do, grab a number drill bit. This is a number 57, which is 143 thousandths, or excuse me, 43 thousandths, and you put the drill bit in there. It doesn't fit, so you just go down to the next one until you get the one that fits, which I know is going to be this next drill bit. Let me get this in here. There we go. So this one it's a number 58 drill bit, and it's 42 thousandths. And stick this in here. So this is the drill bit that we use to drill the main jet in the carburetor that works. Not that this really matters, because on the carburetor that doesn't work, we can't even get full throttle. The heavy bog comes in between 1/4 and 1/2 throttle, which would be the pilot jet or maybe the jet needle. But anyway, we just wanted to make sure everything matched. So this number 58 drill bit, 42 thousandths, it's equal to a number 110. So you just take a number 110, put that in your carb. You can see here, same size. And that's the main jet that works good on this carburetor. We have a good plug reading. But that is not the issue. I was checking out the pilot jets. This is the pilot jet that works. And it's actually the stock 38 pilot jet. You probably won't be able to see on here, but it has 38 stamped on there. It has been damaged from installation, but it's a 38 pilot jet. And the other bike that runs good, it has a 38 pilot jet that's not damaged like this. But in the carb that doesn't work, it also has a stock 38 pilot jet. I put that V on there so I can remember it belonged to this car, but they're different. The pilot jet that works has kind of like a mushroom shape to the top. This one does not. And the big difference here is this one has the 2 holes going through this direction and 2 holes going through this direction. Whereas the pilot jet that works has 1 hole here and 2 holes here. And the other difference there is the diameter of the holes. The holes in this one are 28 thousandths. There's 3 holes, they're 28 thousandths. The holes on this one are 33 thousandths, and there's 4 holes. Center bore is the same on both. And then also you can see the difference in how the threads are. I'm not sure that really matters, but I'm thinking this is what's causing the difference. No bog, the smooth power throughout the RPM range, big fat heavy bog from quarter to half throttle, somewhere around there. Can't even get on the main jet. I didn't realize that you could have the same carb with a totally different pilot jet in it. They're both 38 pilot jets. That's why I thought I was on the right track, you know. We used a 38 in this carb, and it worked great. So we just kept a 38 in this carb, and we had the issues. I'm going to take one of our pilot jets, a 12.5. The center bore is the same as the 38 pilot jet that works. Center bore is the same. And so this has the larger holes up here and more of them. So I think I'm going to try to solder some of those closed to get it closer to what this one's flowing with its smaller and fewer holes. And once I can get the pilot jet to match more closely to what this pilot jet flows, I'll stick it in the carb, put it on the bike, and see what kind of difference that makes. Alright, I'm not sure how well this is going to work. I've never tried to solder holes in a pilot jet before. I've soldered main jets closed and re-drilled them. That's not too difficult, but this might be a little more challenging. This drill bit is 46 thousandths, I believe, and it fits in the end here. It's gonna help me so I don't fill the center of that with solder. And then I think I'll take a piece of tape and I'm gonna try to block one of the holes. And solder close the other hole. I don't know, see if this will work. Try this. Do like that, I guess. Get some solder. So here's my mindset on this. This is the pilot jet that works, and there's a total of, there's 1 hole, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's a total of 6 holes going into the tube, and each hole is 0.28. So if I take 6 times 0.28, that gives me 168 thousandths. So if I go over to the pilot jet that I want to make similar by plugging some holes, those holes are 33 thousandths. So I'm thinking it was 168 thousandths. So I'm thinking if we multiply that by 5 holes, 165, that's really close. So if, let's see, so there's 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 8 holes, and each hole's 33 thousandths. So if I can reduce that to 5 holes at 33 thousandths, I'm getting really close to the amount of flow, I guess you would say, that the other pilot jet has. So I'm going to plug up 3 out of the 8 holes. All right, we have 2 holes plugged. We're going to plug 1 more hole. There we go. It's messy. I'm going to try to clean that up. but I'm trying to be careful not to get it too hot and have the other ones drain out. So we still have that center bore, which is good. All right, let's see what we have here. We've got this one goes through, it's 033, so I'm trying to keep track of this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. So now we have 5 holes at 033. I guess we'll throw this in the carb and see how it does. Alright, modifying the pilot jet didn't work. Still have a heavy bog right around between quarter and half throttle. So now I'm swapping out the tube. This is the tube that was in the carb that works. So you can see there's 4 holes and 2 holes. And this is the tube that I just pulled out of the carb that's giving me trouble. There's 3 holes and 2 holes. And so I'm going to replace this. Getting to this part of the carb, this correlates to this hole here, and that's the measurement we got, and it was different on this carburetor. And then here, 59 thousandths for this hole, much smaller on this carburetor, and then 043 and 043. So those were the differences that we found. As you can see, I got so frustrated, I ended up cutting this carburetor open so I can learn a little bit more, because I just could not get the other carburetor tuned. And then I took this hole right here that measures 059, that hole, and I took my carburetor that measured 033 and I drilled it out 059. And that was one reason why I cut this carburetor open, because I wasn't quite sure how far this hole went. And that was one reason why I cut it open. And it basically comes up to this brass fitting inside here, and it stops at that brass fitting. So you don't drill through this brass fitting. This piece right here was part of that. And there's no hole in there. This basically butts up against here, and it doesn't go through. So anyway, I opened up that bore from 033 to 059. So out of all the VM22's we had, only 2 of them had the right combination for an easy swap on the Vaders. They basically just needed a main jet change. Other than that, we just did some fine-tuning with the jet needle, clip positions, and the idle air screw. All the other carburetors, all the other VM22's, they all had various combinations of emulsion tubes, pilot jets, and just required so much more work to get them tuned in order to work on the Vaders. So we hope that this video helped you if you had similar issues tuning your VM22.